So are you looking forward to buy a brand new camera and you're actually not too sure where to start because there's so many options right now within the Sony alone. There's so many different range and products, and at the same time, or maybe you already have a ZV series camera or even an A6000 series camera and you're looking forward to upgrade yourself from APS-C to a full frame. This is why I'm here for you. Okay, this video is made for you, and then for you to explore why you might want to consider a full frame camera. Okay, before I start talk about the details, basically myself, I'm actually a Sony user since like 2012, so it is 14 years time with Sony camera. And then basically when I first started, I actually bought a APS-C camera first. It was an NEX7 series, and then soon after, within 6 month periods, I thought maybe I'm missing something, I need a bit more. That's where I actually bought my first full frame camera in the same year, in 2012. Since then, I never look back. I pretty much every time, whenever I buy any new camera, it's always full frame, and full frame. Because I want to get the best possible image quality and in not so big factors. Although full frame does increase the size by a little bit, but you get in terms of like better image quality, cost, and also performance overall. Of course, it does increase the price as well. But I'll come back to that later. Just currently, we have so many different options for you, and why you should consider your first camera as a full frame camera for like ultimate portability, ultimate image quality, and day-to-day usage. Okay, and there's one camera in particular I strongly recommend you to look into. Is this one here, the Alpha 7C Mark II. This is right here with me. Okay, I think I can focus right there. Yeah, this one. So this Alpha 7C Mark II is currently one of the most popular camera right now that you can bring around anywhere you go really. That is not so big and small form factor, and this one packs a full frame camera inside. So it gives you the best in terms of image quality, at the same time low noise performance, as well as the overall Sony has been very advanced in the autofocus performance and the technology behind how it helps you to track your subjects even better and easier. So I strongly recommend you, if you're looking for a full frame camera to start with that you want to bring around with you every day, that's regardless whether you are working for your job or you are actually using it as for day-to-day basis as a traveler and you are looking for something to bring around. So I recommend you look into this camera. This is a 7C Mark II full frame camera. So by the way, I'm comparing to this one, the ZV E10 here. At the same time, you can see the size is actually not that big compared to Alpha 7C Mark II, and yeah, the size is actually not that big. Yep. So there you have it. By the way, there's a bit of noise around here. Music going on, sound, machine. So with this mic here, I turn on my noise cancellation. So hopefully the sound of the environment a bit dampened, and you can hear my sound clearly. But if I do take out, I turn off the noise cancellation. Just want to show you how loud right now. Okay, right now it's off already, so you should hear the sound a bit more, and then my talking voice, how is it compared to without and with. Okay, yeah. So okay, let me walk you through some of the demonstration. Okay, so in this location here, it's going to be very good to test these two cameras in terms of dynamic range. So which is the ZV-10 here versus the A7C Mark II, APS-C versus the full frame. So you can see here, this is a backlit situation. I'm going to take the same photo on both cameras, same setting. I'm just going to show you in terms of dynamic range. You can see how is it in terms of the comparison, because this is actually a very challenging situation where the sun is behind and the building is in front. So if I'm going to photograph the building, normally you have to brighten up the scene to shoot the building to be brighter, but the sun will be overexposed. But if you're going to expose correctly to the sky, but the building is going to be dark. So you need to choose one or another. That's where dynamic range comes to assist you in terms of this kind of situation. So what I recommend is usually you take the shot underexposed, which is a bit darker, or maybe stop a bit more to be a darker shots, and then you recover the shadows in post with let's say any of the editing software that you're using. So you can pull back the shadow to make it brighter again. That's where these two cameras are very good comparison here to do a side-by-side testing for the dynamic range, as you can see. Right, so you can see this is a side-by-side testing. On the left hand side is the 7C Mark II, on the right hand side is the ZV E10. So both of them apply the same edits. So as you can see, but overall you can see the color
accuracy compared to this one. This is a washout already, and then this is more true to life color. Yeah, so having full frame camera usually produce a better overall image quality compared to APS-C. So let's say if I zoom in, you can see here, yeah, although these two are a bit different sensor. One is full frame, one is APS-C. On top, this is 33 megapixel, and right hand side is a 24 megapixel. But just to show you the noise performance on full frame control much better, and this is not as good compared to full frame versus APS-C. You can see the details is still, you still see the details here, but APS-C is here, is already start to wash out. Yeah, again, they are both in identical setting in terms of the shooting setting wise, but you can see full frame does produce better image quality compared to APS-C.
So what you're actually watching right now, I purposely underexpose the shot for you, so you can actually see what do I mean by underexposing the photo or the video. So you can see everything here will be very dark, and you get a proper exposure on the sky, but the foreground is, yeah, pitch black. So that's where the mid-range is going to be very useful in terms of photography in the camera to bring up the shadows, then you can see more evenly. Okay, come, let's go. Okay, so I'm still in the car park, and then in this location here, the sun is actually hitting me and also hitting the building behind. So by changing the location, you might get a different output in terms of the image, because how the light goes, it does affect your outcome in terms of your photography or your videography. So when it comes to shooting, you always need to think of where is the light source. Okay, back to here is, I'm just going to do the same test with the 7C Mark II as well as the ZV-E10 together on this 40mm f1.8 GM lens, and I'll have the same lens on both, so to have a same test again, and then both of them on the same setting. I'll be standing here and take this shot, and just to show this location in terms of image quality as well as the dynamic range, both of them. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, I'm just going to stay on the same setting, and currently on this 14mm, and it's an ultra wide, very wide. So let me show you, this is how it looks right now in this location. Because I want to get the same image quality test, so I do on the same lens for both. So I don't want to change. The only difference here is it's just a different sensor size. Same exposure. Okay, same exposure. So as you can see here is the angle of view from this lens is much narrow. Okay, right there, compared to the ultra wide from the full frame camera. Okay, so I'm in this shop lot right here. Same thing, I'm going to use the E10 on the 35mm 1.4 GM, and also the A7C Mark II with the 35mm 1.4 GM. Same test, same location, and you can see how the image comes out when these two camera compares. Okay, and I'm actually standing in this shop lot here, and in front of me I'm just going to photograph this, and let me show you. So what I'm going to do is, here you can see right here, I'm in front of me here, and in this building, this is where I'm actually photographing, and then you can see the sun is hitting the bright part of the wall, and then the shadow is on the green side, on the left hand side. Okay, so the idea is that how you control dynamic range, you can recover the shadow by pulling out the details from the shadows, and the highlight still retain. So I always recommend people, whenever you take any photo with Sony camera, especially you shoot in RAW file, make sure you do underexpose by one stop. Okay, and let the car pass first. Okay, lucky that I took the shot before. Right now the driver's blocking me.
Okay, so this is the actual shot that I shot with the Alpha 7C Mark II, and then you can see here this is actually underexposed shots. As I mentioned before, I like to shoot a little bit under, so to recover the shadow from the post editing, and the highlight still try to retain. So that's the strength of the Sony RAW file, and this is from the full frame camera. So this is the one that already non-edited yet, and this one is edited. You can see the difference from left to right. Okay, basically I still retain the details here, and I bring up the shadow and make it even. Okay, so right now what one check is that, let's say side by side, and this is full frame A7C Mark II, and this is the APS-C on the right hand side is the ZV-E10. So let's say I do side by side for a comparison. Then if I bring it up to side by side, okay, on the left is Alpha 7C Mark II, on the right is the ZV-E10. So if you see closely, okay, And from there, straight away notice is the way how the color renders. Okay, the color is actually more faithful on the Alpha 7C Mark II versus ZVE10. And also one more thing is the shadow details, especially I did +2 to bring up the shadows just to show the editing like after post. And this is all non noise reduction, is purely from just bring up the exposure in the raw file. As you can see here, this is already start to wash out already and losing information, and versus the Alpha 7C Mark II, this is still retain a lot of information, and the color is still faithfully reproduced from this. You can see all the green colors. Yeah, so definitely is full frame is gonna give you a little bit more edge in terms of recovering the shadows due to better dynamic range and also better noise control in comparison. Yep, so whatever you see here, the details, if I go up there, then you can see, yeah, the noise is less compared to APS-C cameras.
Around that. Okay, so I'm going to do next is there's this flower here. I'm just going to use it as a props to shoot in terms of the showing you how the background blur comparison between this camera and also the 7C Mark II. So as you can see, it's moving quite fast, so it's recommended to use a faster shutter speed in order to freeze the motion. So actually I'm shooting around 2080 or maybe even higher. So whenever it comes to shooting, there's always things happening around you that you cannot control, so you just need to find a way to shoot it yourself. And it's still, there's the wind. Okay, so I can hold it, make it still a bit, so it doesn't move as much. Okay, good, because I just need to show the bokeh, so you can see right there. Okay, so this is with the 35mm 1.4 GM on the ZVE10 here, and now it's less windy. Oh my god, it was so windy before. Okay, same thing, f1.4, and then 2.5. Okay, now less wind. So I try to get as close as I can. Much better now. Okay, good. Okay, this is the closest already from the distance of the subject to the camera. Okay, when it's autofocus, so it's choose tracking there. Okay, right there. So you can see how the background separation compared to the before, and also how this is actually having a wider shot. Okay, there you have it. Just want to show in terms of how the background separation. Okay, so this is another bokeh comparison test right here. As you can see, I put my IX1R Mark III right there as a props, and the background is quite far away. And using a 1.4 lens, this is an 85mm 1.4 lens, and allowed me to blur the background dramatically, super like crazy blur. But just to show you in terms of APS-C versus full frame, and on top you can see how the field of view changes whenever I put this lens onto APS-C. Everything becomes tighter and more narrow compared to a full frame camera. So there you have it. You can see these two side by side. Overall is full frame camera allows you to works better in terms of distance, because you don't need to stand so far away to get the same looks. And then you don't, if you're using APS-C camera, you might need to stand further back and further back. So make it a bit less or difficult to communicate to your friends, or even like you go out with relatives and families. So full frame is always easier because it's having a wider field of view compared to APS-C on the same lens. And yeah, regardless, any lens you put on APS-C camera, there's always a crop there. There's always, regardless of APS-C lenses or full frame lenses, as long as you put it on, you need to multiply by 1.5. So even though it's an APS-C lenses. So currently with this one, yeah, very easy. The working distance is very comfortable. You don't need to walk so far away, thanks to the full frame sensor give you the flexibility compared to an APS-C. This is why after I tested full frame camera back in 2012, I never looked back. So all my cameras, is just the one I really buy, usually are all full frame camera. Okay, there you have it.
Alright, so you can see from this side-by-side comparison here, having the full frame camera is having the wider field of view versus APS-C from the same distance. So due to the 1.5x crop factor from the ZVE10 camera sensor, because it's APS-C, so there's a crop there. But do notice this is an ISO 400, and this is an ISO 200. Despite that, full frame camera on the left hand side here is having a higher ISO. Just pay attention to the noise pattern. I zoom into 300%, so you can see APS-C sensor will have a bit more noisy pictures. Both of them have the same edits. You can see the noise pattern there. Yeah, it's like a little bit more dirty on the APS-C side, although it's a lower ISO. So thanks to full-frame camera, usually less noise compared to APS-C. So you can see the noise here and the noise there. Yeah, basically means less noise usually give you cleaner images compared to let's say you're having more noise. More noise will be distracting and then it's not as clean. So the detail is not as good compared to let's say full frame camera is better and APS-C camera is weaker. So while waiting for my food to come, I thought maybe I can do a comparison between these two cameras, the 7C Mark II with the kit lens as well as the ZV-E10 with the kit lens. They do come with the kit lens together when you want to purchase. It's either you want to buy from the body separately or you want to buy with the kit lens together. So these two shots here are the kit lens shots, basically all at wide open, and then I just to be fair, I try to set it both at f4. Okay, so pretty much it's wide open from this 280, and then you can see how the full frame camera giving you a little bit more background separation compared to the APS-C. Then additionally is that the what do you call this? The color is actually more faithfully reproduced compared to the ZV-E10. You can see both of them actually are set to 5500 Kelvin, but 7C Mark II give me a more punchy color compared to the APS-C ZV-E10. And additionally is that the details are there, and you can see how the full frame camera give you a little bit better bokeh compared to APS-C. Then of course the noise you can see. One thing I want to highlight is because ZV-E10 does not come with any in-body image stabilizer, but the 7C Mark II does come with the image stabilizer. So there's one with the body itself with about 7 stops of stabilization. So I can reduce my shutter speed to 101.13 and I'll still retain to take this sharp focus shots. But on the other hand, ZV-E10 need to raise the ISO higher to compensate for less shaky pictures because there's no in-camera in-body stabilization. Yeah, so you can see these two side by side, and the color everything is more faithfully reproduced and full frame camera. Yeah, so this is it for these two comparison. In overall, I think Alpha 7C Mark II will be my highly recommended choice to all of you out there. If you're looking to buy a brand new camera, just go straight to full frame because you get the best of the image quality, and also right now with all the latest technology together in one small form factor, very compact. So in 7C Mark II, very strongly highly recommended. Okay, it's not just better image quality with the full frame image sensor, but like I mentioned just now in the video and also in the comparison, it also comes with a better dynamic range and also lower noise compared to an APS-C camera like the ZV-E10. So, and most importantly, this camera, there's no crop in when you're taking a photo because it's a full frame, so there's no crop factors. So whenever you are shooting, let's say you have a 35mm lens or 50mm lens in future, you can shoot comfortably within the distance itself. You don't need to move backwards because, like I said, APS-C's camera does look a bit further in compared to full frame. So full frame allows you to more flexibility in terms of yourself and your subject. This is why full frame is actually one of my reasons why I wanted to buy full frame last time, because I felt APS-C a bit too far away for my liking. I prefer full frame more than APS-C. Then additionally is that A7C or Alpha 7C Mark II, this one is actually very lightweight and compact form factor design. It's only weigh about 514 grams with the memory card and battery combined together. So this is actually a very lightweight body plus any other lens from Sony. Because in Sony right now we have more than 80 lenses with so many lenses. So we have a lens that is lightweight and super compatible with this Alpha 7C Mark II, as well as we have those high-end lenses from our GM lens. So we have so many for you to make use of it, and depends on your creativity which one is the best for you to go. Yeah, last but not least, this one also comes with a dedicated AI processing unit. So this Alpha 7C Mark II, it can when you use it, you know that it's so precise and accurate because thanks to the AI processor inside. So it helps you with the autofocus performance. Then most importantly, and Alpha 7C Mark II, like the rest of the camera, it also comes with this Z battery that we actually using in Sony for a lot of Sony camera, which is a MP-FZ100 battery. So this is a highly accessible camera, and a lot of our camera actually using this. This is a proven battery that you can use it for a long duration of time. So for whole day shooting, maybe for photo wise, you might just need 2 battery can last for whole day. So this battery, one of them is actually last very long time. So this is my overall sharing in terms of Alpha 7C Mark II. Hope you like this video and enjoys it. And see you next time in our future workshop and